Hi, and welcome to episode 8 of Breaking, Building, and Belonging. It's a book that I've turned into a podcast and hoping to publish this book in 2025 as a print book. But for right now, I'm sharing with you as a podcast to get some feedback from you. So I would love to hear how you're enjoying this. If you're someone that's been a regular listener, I hope that you can provide some feedback. But more than anything, I'm just hoping to share these lessons with you. We are talking in episode 8 about John Townsend and his book People Fuel. We're talking about life teams. This is all based on a chapter that you would find back in episode 6, part 1 and 2, called Bullies, Blades, and Buoys. And in there, we talk about the bullies that I experienced as a kid, and also how a friend of mine, who I'm calling Kip, was a buoy in my life, leading the way out of a messy reality. So, as we talked about that, as we talked about allies in our messy reality, me, your host, John Johnson, I'm going to take you into a deeper and more practical concept of life teams that John Townsend talks of. And the way that he likes to talk about it is that you need relational nutrients in your life to feed you. And you can either be putting junk food into your life as far as the kind of folks that you're surrounding yourself with, or you could be putting healthy foods into your life and healthy nutrients into your life. And so what he talks about is curating this life team all around you. So if you are a reader, if you're someone that likes books, I recommend that you go much deeper with him and pick up that book, read that book. He talks about so many amazing concepts in there. But if you only have time to listen to this, let's talk about how we might apply it. So if you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or simply looking for a better way to navigate challenges, a life team isn't just a concept. It in and of itself is an essential nutrient for survival. As John Townsend puts it, a life team is a group of people who provide relational nutrients, which are encouragement, accountability, and support. And these aren't just friends or family, they're intentional allies who help you navigate life's complexities. So he emphasizes the importance of building this team very deliberately. That's where that word intentional comes from. And leaders, for example, often find it difficult to let others lead or support them. And that's one of the things that is a passion for me. I feel like I am called to help the helpers, to help the people that do not easily go out and find others to support them. And what I want to do is encourage you to do that. It has made a huge difference in my life. And as we continue to unfold this book, it's going to become clearer and clearer how important that is. Because a life team is about allowing yourself to be cared for rather than always being the one doing the caring. So, what do they provide? They provide security and structure. They make vulnerability safe. They encourage you to find your voice and boundaries. They remind you to receive, not just give. And they accept your dark side while challenging you to grow. And I love this thing that Jen Williams, a close friend of mine that we hear about early in the book, one of my big inspirations for writing a Better Together story and guide. She gave me that mantra of better together. And she calls encouragement a superpower. She often reminds me that encouragement at its core means to put courage into, and it's the oxygen that we need when life feels suffocating. And I was thinking about the pilot in a movie that many may not know, but it was called Midway a few years back. That pilot was gasping for air because his oxygen mix in his tank wasn't calibrated correctly. And a lot of times we can feel that life is the same way. Without the right mix of those uh, chemical agents, or the right mix of, as Townsend calls them, relational nutrients, it's hard to breathe, let alone thrive. And a life team will help you have that proper balance. So when I think of people like Jen, I think of my wife, I think of others in my circle that are work friends, they're church friends, they're community friends that I've made, people that I've even met on LinkedIn. that I've become close to over time. They have all become part of my life team. They provide an essential mix of encouragement and support. And when I go too long without those people, I feel like that pilot in the plane where his mix is going bad. I feel like my mix is going bad when I isolate too much. And often they'll notice that. They'll step in. They'll remind me to take care of myself. And sometimes they even have to pry the oxygen mask out of my hand and put it on me with the right mix of nutrients and the right mix of gases so that I am doing things right. So ask yourself these questions. Do I have a life team? If I do, uh, are there any gaps in it? Is there any support that I'm not getting? How can I thank those who are already there for me? If I don't have a life team, how can I start to build one? What's one step I can take today to send a message, set up a meeting, or write something down as a plan to strengthen your team or to start building your team? So I'd like to thank you for spending time with me today on Breaking Building and Belonging. Life can be very challenging, but with the right team around you, you can face these challenges and come out stronger. Take some time to evaluate current support system and ask yourself, who are the people putting courage into you? And also, one other thing that he talks about in here that you will find in my Food for Thought podcast is identify any chronics in your life. Those can be people poisoning the mix. So check that out. And if you found this episode helpful, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments or connect with me on social media at 4 for Soaring. If you haven't yet, subscribe and don't miss what's next. Remember, the right mix of people in your life can help you breathe easier, dream bigger, and thrive in ways you've never imagined. Let's keep soaring together.